With every death comes honor. With honor, redemption.
Double kill. Triple kill.
So much death.
Double kill. Triple kill. Quadruple kill. Quintuple kill. Sextuple kill. Double kill.
Too easy.
Double kill. Triple kill.
They fall before me, one after another.
Scott movie Yellow. Yes, another one of my favorites.
attachments and I approach romance will soon be ours, and outdoor paradise for two. immer unterbricht mich jemand bei der Arbeit. You needed a goddess? All systems check out. I require medical attention. I've got you. Self-medicating.
Into the iris.
A clean bill of health. Let's get you back out there. You needed a doctor?
See that which is once.
All systems checked out.
Give up.
Self-medicating. I'm here. Onward. I will watch over you. This is not the end. Let's get you back out there.
I am injured. I need healing.
I'm taking care of you. Thank you. Under attack. Time to raise my APM.
Fire at will.
Healing stream engaged. Let me get through.
Pass into the iris.
You needed a goddess? I will watch over you.
Oh my god, the Mercy didn't res me! Such a trash Mercy! And that's the point, guys. I'll come in and res him. I'm pissed! Oh my god!
Valkyrie online. Now I'll show them. 洞主，不许走。
Play of the game.
Well, that's really unfortunate.
Have we just been streaming for 15 minutes without the mic on? It should be working now. Fuzzbug, let us know if you can hear it. That's pretty embarrassing.
All our wisdoms just down the drain. So should we back up? We can't really just keep going.
Yeah, I think let me just backtrack just a moment here.
How are the levels there, Fuzzbug? Let us know if anything else needs to be adjusted. We appreciate it.
So, just maybe, Anthony, can you just give us an intro again? Because we kind of lost that.
An intro?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Oh, so this is Push to Talk Radio.
Push to Talk Radio.
A weekly live stream where we'll be gaming and basically talking about relationships, psychology, maybe specifically sometimes contemplative psychology,
Work,
and
life in
just
general.
any
Problems,
sort of mental health related topics. I think is
Yeah.
what we're aiming for, and we're all actually MA candidates right now, getting our degrees in clinical mental health counseling, and we're here to field questions, engage with the chat, and just kind of, I don't know, meander on about life while some Overwatch gets played in the background.
That's right, yeah.
Or in this case, the foreground, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, the topic that we got onto, and please, if anyone has any questions, feel free to enter it in the chat, and we're happy to shift topics. What we're talking about now is we're talking about relationships, and we started with what do we want in a partner, and then Alex over here. By the way, I'm Zach. This is Anthony. This is Alex. Alex started talking about attachment trauma, so then we kind of sidetracked to just explain what attachment is, and attachment theory means basically that the way we relate to our romantic partners, we get a template from that based on how we related to our primary caregiver, which for most people was their mom, but that's not always the case. And that there's 4 main ways that people do this, which are a secure attachment, an anxious ambivalent attachment, an avoidant attachment, and a disorganized attachment. And the secure attachment basically means that someone feels safe whether they're with their partner or they're not with their partner. That's really the best way to say it.
Or they don't need their partner to regulate them.
Yes,
don't need
safe.
the partner.
I'm wanting to unpack safe.
To unpack safe. So
Yeah.
let's put a pin in that for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get another match going while
Okay.
we talk about
Right.
attachment styles here.
Because this word safe is actually really helpful in this model. So in terms of thinking that secure is safe whether you're with your partner or without your partner. When you're anxious ambivalent, you actually feel unsafe when your partner's not around, and you feel safer when they are around. When you have the avoidant attachment, it's kind of the opposite.
Wait, ambivalent, I'm pretty sure is like kind of a push-pull.
It is a push-pull.
So it's like you really, really want that closeness, and at the same time you're afraid of it because it's led to so much pain.
Mhm.
So that, I think, happens when there's any kind of abuse. So it's like, it's your instinct to like want to get closer to your caregiver, but it's also your instinct to get away from someone who's causing you pain.
Well, that might be getting convoluted with what disorganized, because that's my understanding of what disorganized means.
Oh man, but ambivalent is.
Ambivalent refers to being more or less unsure about commitment in this situation,
Okay.
in this context. And what I was going to say is that a characteristic of an ambivalent attachment style, or another way is the anxious aspect of that, is when your partner's not around, you feel unsafe and you're just craving them to be around. And the avoidant is actually the opposite, that you actually feel safer when your partner's not around. Now, both of those provide problems in relationship because you're not always going to be around your partner, and sometimes you're going to be away from your partner. So again, that goes back to the secure, is kind of being okay with whatever the situation is.
Wait, but also, if you don't have a secure attachment style, then I think it's really easy to compromise yourself because you just want anyone to be there for you.
Interesting. Yeah.
I totally, 1,000% see that in myself. I will put all my needs aside. I just need somebody there. And it's so funny because it actually has the opposite effect of me. I don't feel like my needs are being met at all.
So this is actually very characteristic of the avoidant anxious attachment, the anxious ambivalent attachment style, It's like
Yeah.
I really want that person, but even when they're there, I'm still feeling like, wait, I'm not getting my needs met.
Okay.
Right? I'll kind of anyone, and I'm not saying this is you, but this is characteristically like I just want to be around someone, and then it's like, oh, okay, but then you're around that person, and you're like, oh wait, this actually isn't doing it for me. And that's that sort of ambivalence, like, oh, I really want to be with you. Oh, but actually now that we're here, I actually don't really want to be around you.
I don't resonate with that as much.
Yeah,
It's like-
well, that's
it's like-
yeah. That didn't mean that to be about you.
Oh, okay.
Just that's characteristic of the anxious ambivalent. Another term for this is actually called a wave versus an island.
Ah, Stan Tatkin.
Stan Tatkin, yeah. Pact couple therapy uses this model, and he changes these words to be an anchor for secure, a wave is anxious ambivalent, and an island is someone who's avoidant. And I really like those terms because the way it shows up in relationship is oftentimes the wave, the anxious ambivalent one, is the one who's often bringing the issues into the relationship. And that's not to say that they are the originator of those, but they're the one who's going to name that there's a problem. Where the avoidant partner is just going to be fine, chilling out, not talking about what's actually going on. And of course that's a problem too, right? Because they don't get to speak their needs, and then their reaction to the sort of whatever problems in the relationship ends up being disengaging, and then that typically sets the wave off, and they would just want to crash even harder. So that's where this island and wave sort of dynamic comes, where the wave is constantly trying to crash onto the island, and the island is just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to back away.
So what I'm interested in is like, how do you cultivate that secure attachment?
How do you cultivate that secure attachment? That's a great question. What do you think?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts about this.
That's
Oh, were you asking him?
I'm asking both of you.
Oh.
yeah. I mean the earned secure attachment. So that's actually different than just sort of being naturally secure. So earned secure, ESA, right? I think I was reading a Psychology Today magazine where the cover said something like "Earn secure attachment, the unicorn of therapy."
The unicorn. That's
And on some level, I think through enough, how to do it is like different for everyone, and enough exploration and okayness with yourself might just sort of naturally bring that about. I don't know. What do you think? Because I think it's going to be different for everyone depending on what their sort of neurosis is around what's going on for them.
I think you need to be the secure caretaker for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that has to do with learning how to regulate with love, you know, like not kind of an aggressive way, but like a really, really kind, gentle self-regulation.
So what would that look like for you?
I do a lot of like imagining myself as a child, you know, if I feel really dysregulated, I just kind of like connect with that inner child and send her the love that she deserves.
That's a really sweet
Wow.
image. I like that.
It's really, really powerful.
That sounds pretty powerful.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Kind of just talk to little baby Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet little baby Alex, you know, she's just crying inside of me sometimes.
And what does baby Alex want to hear?
You're lovable for who you are,
Oh.
not for how you look and not what you can provide to people.
Yeah, that's so nice, right? And that's kind of, I mean, it's true. We all are. If we're Buddhist, right?
Yeah. We've got the, what did Karen say one time?
Basic goodness.
We've got,
Hey, I want to pause just for a moment.
Yeah.
I just got a text message from a viewer who says that they want to, they're having trouble engaging with the chat.
okay.
So-
What platform are they watching
Yeah,
on?
that's a great question. Let me find out. So we're on Facebook, trying to figure out how to engage in the chat on Facebook.
Oh, well, if, let me switch over to that really quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, anyone on Facebook, I'm just gonna test.
Should be able to add a comment there on the side. I think that's how
Yeah.
Facebook handles like its chat function. It's not quite like Twitch where there's an actual chat going.
You should be able to, yeah, just use the comment feature. So maybe that'll work. If that doesn't work, keep texting me. We'll figure out how to get this going.
Oh shit.
But I interrupted the conversation. I think we were talking about something that one of our professors had said.
Oh yeah. Karen said at one point, like, Buddhists don't have the like all the answers for truth. Basically, they don't corner the market on truth or something like that.
Okay.
As the market doesn't corner
Some disagreement over here, maybe.
Maybe personal bias.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I have my answer to this question. An answer.
To what question?
The earned secure attachment piece.
Oh,
How do you
okay.
achieve
Let's
that?
hear it.
How do you achieve it?
So, I've recently started studying something. Let's see. Sorry, I'm interrupting myself again. Okay, so our friend here says that they made a comment on the comment section, but it didn't show up anywhere.
Weird.
So that is bizarre.
Ask them if they can see the comment that I pinned on the side there.
Okay, I can't see that actually. So
That one right there?
this one right here,
Yeah.
that's the one I made.
Hopefully there's not two streams going on.
So
I bet there is, actually.
there's probably multiple streams happening, huh?
Yeah.
Unless we're hosting it. So, okay, there's an I can see it response. What comment can you see?
So, dick size.
Whoa. Whoa.
Going right for it, huh?
Dick
Is this
size.
part of secure attachment?
That's yeah. I just tell that little Anthony. I just connect with that little Anthony and let him know that it's gonna be okay.
Little Tony.
Alright, we're still working on this. So the thing I was going to say, we can get to dick size.
Okay.
And however we want to discuss.
I'd
my
love to
voice
revisit
cracks.
that.
And see how comfortable I am with this conversation. So I just started recently studying this thing called PRI, Past Reality Integration.
Huh.
I'm finding it really helpful working with clients, talking about this, and really working with it for myself. Basically, it says that we all enter in these defense mechanisms in order to shield ourselves, protect ourselves, or defend against feelings of abandonment, rejection, and neglect. And in relationships, we feel those all the time because we want to watch a movie and our partner doesn't want to watch a movie, right? And
Yeah.
and this rejection feeling comes up, okay? When we were a child, when we felt that, it was literally life-threatening. If you're like a little baby, right, and you need
No, you
and
laugh,
you
but
need
it's
food,
true.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
totally true. Yeah.
when you're a baby and you need food and you're getting and you're fearing rejection, you're literally fearing for your life, okay? And this again plays in the attachment because we learned this template as a child from this pre-verbal part of our life. How that shows up later in a relationship, right? This idea with the movie, and you want to watch a movie, or your partner wants to watch a movie, and whatever. You don't get to do that. You feel some rejection. The way we relate to that rejection, if we're not aware of what's going on for us, we will just lapse into our comfortable defense mechanism, which might be to blame them, or to internalize and say there must be something wrong with me, or to maybe get aggressive and start a little argument about the whole situation. The solution to that is to remind oneself, I'm not a baby.
Yeah.
I'm a grown adult. And this is not a life-threatening situation. And I can tolerate feeling rejected. And then the way that can work in relationship is being honest and communicating and being able to have your partner be able to say, like, you can say, oh, I'm feeling hurt right now because you don't want to spend time with me. And your partner being able to say, like, okay, I hear that, and I'll spend time with you later, or whatever it might be. And that, there's no solution for that. But this idea of this past reality integration, I think, has been really helpful for me to realize, like, yeah, actually I can tolerate some feelings of rejection without needing to fucking go ham and put all of my anxiety on someone else or my discomfort with that on somebody else.
Yeah.
But that's one way.
No, I mean, I think there's so many similarities between what we're saying because another part of that is to remind yourself, like, I'm safe.
Right, I'm safe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. I'm safe. I'm not going to die because I can't spend time with my partner right now.
Yeah.
Okay. What? What's
We
going on?
won.
You won.
Woo!
All right.
So, I want to just pause for a moment and see if we can get.
Yeah. What's going on with the comment section?
So your comment shows,
Yep.
mine does not. So I wonder if I'm doing this right.
Ask them to try and. So I would advise just to go straight to our page. Go straight to Push to Talk.
Facebook.com/push to talk radio.
That's right, and maybe connecting to something that I may have shared may have like a totally different chat or comment section going on right now. Let me see.
I feel like the dick size conversation has
Come
some
right back to it.
charge.
Okay.
So pretty much my
Belinda Ho said that might be interesting.
size conversation
You need to mute
has
that.
some charge. Well, okay, so
Okay.
my stance
Now
on
we're here.
the sizes of dicks. Do you guys want to hear it?
Let's hear your stance
for
on the
it.
sizes of dicks.
I actually think there is such a thing as too big.
Too big.
There, I said it. It's like hurts sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think guys realize that. And I've had conversations with other women who agree. And, you know, maybe, you know, medium-sized dicks is really where it's at.
So you're basically telling anyone watching right now that a medium-sized dick is
Preferable.
not just a good enough dick, it's a preferable dick.
Preferable.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm very relieved.
How does that feel to hear that, Zach?
You know, it feels good. It's validating. It's honestly not the first time I've heard it.
Yeah.
I've definitely been insecure about my dick size, but I've never had someone tell me my dick was too small. So,
Dude, dick size is like not even that important. It's like there's so many other things that are so much more important.
So the old phrase, it's not the size of the boat, but the motion in the ocean, or something like that.
Absolutely.
It rings true.
Oh my god. And it's like if a guy knows what the fuck he's doing, it'll be good. But if he doesn't, even if he has a huge dick, it's probably like, ugh, it's not enjoyable.
I think maybe we probably just tripled our viewership after
we might have. Yeah.
Alex basically just let the cat out of the bag on that old one.
So then what? So now we're back to what is important. Okay.
Uh-huh.
We've narrowed that. You know.
Well, weren't you saying something about hands or something, or height?
Oh. Height.
Okay.
So
that's
when we get to needs, when we start breaking down something to like someone's appendages, dick, hands, or whatever.
Dick, hands, feet. I don't know. Is that
What need are we meeting?
what need?
I
by having
honestly-
this preference.
I think, oh my god, like this is very weird, but I think it's totally like daddy issues. Like I want a large man because I feel safe with a large man,
Uh-huh.
and like I just didn't get that kind of feeling from my dad, and I'm just looking for someone else to fill that role for me.
So what exactly is the feeling that you want to get that you didn't get from your dad?
Feeling of safety with this like large man who's like dominant and like
So when you
knows what to do.
have a guy
yeah.
that's interested in you and
Yes.
he's maybe a little shorter than you would like, can you connect with that little Alex that you were talking about earlier and say,
But also I
you're
feel
okay?
No, I feel like maybe it's just personal preference because
Yeah.
a friend of mine was telling me today she prefers guys who are just a tiny bit taller than her. And
Just a
like
tiny bit.
she was hugging this guy who was like super tall, like the kind of thing that I like, and she's like, ugh, you're too tall. And like that doesn't even make sense for me, you know? So maybe it's just personal preference.
Yeah, there's no too tall. For
What do you well, I guess there is, like if you're like 7 feet tall or
7
something.
feet tall is too tall.
But yeah, I like the 6 range.
So it's about safety.
Yeah, ultimately, I think that's what it's really about. And like, I want to feel like feminine beside them, you know? Like, if the guy is just as big as me, then I don't feel that way.
So you heard it here first, folks. You can date Alex. You gotta have a small dick, but you gotta be tall. Is that an accurate characterization of what you're looking for in a man?
You know, the list is bigger than that. Okay, I'm not that easy. I'm easy, but I'm not that easy.
But we are talking about getting needs met, right? That's what this conversation is.
We
ultimately
are or
about.
we're not?
We are, right? That's ultimately what we're talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Are they working now?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what's going on with the chat. We've got chat going on in Twitch.
Yep.
Not showing up here, and not on Facebook though.
Oh, okay. This person posting on
What is this?
Facebook is this is an emote. So that's our Twitch and our YouTube chats are showing up, but our Facebook is not. If anybody wants to engage in the chat, yes, we're having some issues with the Facebook chat right now. You can go to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/push-to-talk-radio, or I think it's youtube.com/push-to-talk-radio.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitch is more likely to get you some engagement in our chat there. But
Russ Manja says, yeah.
Russ Manja. Hey Russ, thanks for joining.
What do you like in there? Is it the dick size is small is good?
Are you asking Russ Manja what he's yaying to?
I'm asking him how big is his dick.
she's getting right to it.
You know, but maybe Russ Manja identifies as a female. Or maybe is an AFAB, assigned female at birth.
Yeah.
So I'm just making assumptions that every single person on here is a dude.
Yeah.
So
you are
can
making
you break down AFAB really quickly? If I don't know what that term means,
Well-
how would you explain it to me?
You are assigned female at birth, so like your genitals looked more like female genitals than male genitals.
Okay. So you think maybe Russ Manja
Russ
might be
Manja.
trans
I mean, I don't know.
We don't know.
I'm just saying.
or
I just
gender
think-
neutral?
I mean, I don't know.
I think given
Just
only the name,
leaving it open.
only the name,
And the fact that
Yeah,
we're
we're
on
on.
a game chat thing.
and we're stereotyping
I'm-
gamers as
yeah.
guys.
As
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
I would say
I
so.
think that's probably pretty accurate.
I
though.
think it's like the overwhelming majority of gamers are dudes.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I definitely actually know that as a fact.
Yeah. Well, the question still remains, Russ Manja. Alex wants to know how big your dick is.
We're getting way far from topics I thought we were going to cover
yeah,
tonight.
me too. To be
But
honest.
hey, you know, whatever.
Obviously, you don't have to answer that question.
Is Russ still watching there?
I think Russ is still engaged. Yeah. I happen to know that Russ Manja is male,
Oh,
Oh, you know this person.
but I don't know how big Russ's dick is.
all right. Well, we'll have to wait
This
to hear from
emptiness,
Russ.
we'll just leave that in the void.
Did you ever think you would know?
No.
Did you ever think that you would find out on a Twitch stream?
No, I didn't. Not in my wildest dreams did I think that would be the venue that I would learn that information. Or do you want to know, is the question that Russ Manja asks.
Wait, what?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. I think he wants to know who wants to know.
I want to know.
Alex wants to know.
Yeah, she's been pretty clear about that.
Yeah. I'm just imagining like my dad watching this,
Yeah.
but he never would. He like doesn't know these things exist.
Well, it is Facebook, so as long as you don't share it.
No, he doesn't.
I did tag your name.
He doesn't have a Facebook.
Oh, well, there you go.
But my mom might see this. That would be weird too.
Yeah.
But also like whatever.
So then what do we want to talk about that would be appropriate for
Oh
all
no.
our moms and dads?
Oh.
Looks like we've got 9 viewers right now. Just so everybody knows, we're having some issues with Facebook comments right now.
That's right.
If you're a member of the Rude Dudes community, we can see the comments from the post I made there. Your best bet is either going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/pushtotalkradio, or our Twitch stream at twitch.tv/pushtotalkradio. We kind of designed this show to be engaging with the chats, so feel free to ask us any questions, or I guess apparently tell us your dick size.
Yes.
I think this might be a good opportunity to see. Does anyone out there watching, do you have any questions related to anything at all? And we will do our best to answer. It might not be accurate, but we're happy to talk about it.
Yeah, and maybe as this game is ending now, this might be a good opportunity to give our disclaimer.
That's right.
So I'm going to read this verbatim. Might be a little boring sounding, but we think the information that it shares is important. The hosts and moderators of this show are not providing therapy and/or therapeutic services. Advice given on this show is not an alternative to seeking professional help. The team behind Push to Talk is not responsible for any decisions that viewers may make regarding their own mental health. If you or anyone you know are in need of immediate assistance, please call emergency services at 911 and/or call a crisis hotline near you. And you can find a link to a list of crisis hotlines on our Twitch page and our YouTube page. So yeah, other than that, we would welcome any questions that you've got or any engagement around the topics that we've been talking about. We touched on relationships a little bit. I think that's how we got into
Needs,
and then
Dick
the
sizes.
size of
Say
appendages.
it.
dick
size.
sizes.
I think I'm just tired of saying it at this point. It's not that I'm even...
You know what? I'm thinking something.
Okay.
I was looking at like the graphic or whatever that was up before we started, and it was just like such a sexualized drawing of a woman, and I'm just thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about Mercy.
I don't
Yeah, it
know.
was probably-
She
Let's
was.
pull her up. I
Yeah.
think we're talking about Mercy.
Right there?
Yeah, I think so. She was like on a broom or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
have that skin,
and I'm just
but
We
thinking
can do it
like,
though.
Oh, you can buy these now.
They dropped to 1,000.
Oh, well, I'm
well,
buying
no,
that
she's
one.
only 1,000.
yeah, I'm just thinking like.
So now I'm going to play as this person. How does that make you feel?
Well, I like
I'm-
this conversation. I like what you're bringing up. I brought
Yeah.
this up a couple weeks ago, actually. So
Yeah.
I want to hear. I think I brought this up, but I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, yeah, like everyone, men included, and women, are just bombarded with these like super sexualized images of women and like these very idealistic and unrealistic. Like, look at that waist to hip ratio right there. Look at that ass. Like, that's not a normal ass, and it's just like putting these unrealistic expectations on women. And I know for a fact, women, myself included, really have gotten the message that their worth is dependent on how they look.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that what you're saying. The point that you're bringing up, it's obviously not great to see. It's not great what you're saying, but I think the point that you're bringing up is extremely important. And I also am very curious, not only relating to women and how they're shown, but how all of these archetypes in this game inform or influence people's expectations of reality. So I'm wondering, actually, Anthony, now if we can actually look at some of the other characters and look at what other sort of tropes and characteristics and stereotypes arise.
So yeah, like 3 weeks ago, Cody and I talked about this, about there's actually a decent balance here, I think, of when...
Popping off here with the...
Because I was playing Mercy, and she's a woman, right? Or at least we don't know how Mercy identifies, but
Right.
we're just assuming. And she's a healer, right? That's actually very stereotypical of women in games, where they sort of
But she's
provide
also a brilliant
assistance.
scientist. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I like that your character is a female.
This is her normal outfit.
Okay.
It's maybe more scientific, I don't know.
But look at her boobs.
Yeah.
What do you think about those? Unrealistic?
Yeah, of course.
Unrealistic?
Of course.
Yep.
I think.
she's kind of contorted. Like her back just doesn't look.
She's got some
comfortable.
serious case of scoliosis.
Look at
That is not.
No, it's her ass. It's the ass that's protruding.
But either way,
That is like-
this whole that shape is not real.
She needs to do
Yeah.
some.
She's totally sticking her boobs out. Like
Totally.
her rib cage is like a foot in front of her shoulders. There's nothing normal about that. She should probably seek medical attention.
Wait, where did we go?
Oh, I minimized it.
Oh,
I was
okay.
tired of looking at it. I just want to
okay.
make sure that this is still good. Okay.
But can we look at some of the other characters?
Just want to give a shout out to Bagel. Say what's going on. I hear that you're at work. Glad that you're tuning into us in the background.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for joining. Wait, hold on. Before you go there, I want
Yeah. Oh, you want to see more characters?
yeah, I want to see other characters. Like,
What's
What
a
about
what's a
Doomfist?
stereotype?
let's look at
Doomfist.
Doomfist. All right.
All right. So Doomfist.
Oh, boy.
Wait, hold on. Let me.
Oh boy, that's what Alex says.
Yeah. Look at
Doomfist
his
doesn't have.
thighs.
Doomfist doesn't have one of those little
He has no bio.
hero info. Yeah, he doesn't have a bio. What the hell's up with that? Wait, did they all
Look
have
at his
bios?
arms.
So Anna has a bio. Doomfist is one of the newer. I
What
think it
about
might be-
Hanzo?
Where is he? Okay, yeah. So Hanzo is, I think he's Japanese.
Yeah, Pan Asian, right? I mean, he's got
Look
got
at
a
that neck.
Japanese motif.
Yeah, he's
And those
ripped.
shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty unrealistic too.
Oh, we've got a question from Fuzzbug here. So I'm
Okay.
gonna pause our conversation. And how do you guys feel about the discussion that women in video games are the male sexual fantasy, and the men in video games are typically the male physical specimen archetype that men aspire to be? I don't know if that's the best wording. I think that was good wording. I'm going to rephrase it to the way I interpreted that question. That women in video games are the representation of what males fantasize about how women should be, and that men in video games represent the archetypes that men aspire to be. My gut on that is I think it's extremely accurate.
And that men
But what's
make
the
video
difference?
games, like the majority of people who create video games are men. So
Yeah, yes.
the zeitgeist around video games is going to be very much from like a male perspective, I think.
But it's just like an idealized version of both.
An idealized version of both. So
Yeah.
this brings up a really interesting topic. It's something that I've thought about at kind of like a younger age, in relating to Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
And when I first got exposed to Dungeons and Dragons, it was like the most exciting thing for me because clearly I was a total neckbeard before I could grow a beard. I was just a neck at
I
that
like
point, I
the
guess.
shout out to Neckbeard again. That's
Um,
good.
But I got really excited, and I played a halfling rogue, and I was just like, this is the epitome of what I value. Like, small, sneaky, agile, like, can just hide and just backstab people, like, from the shadows. Doesn't really have to get in the fray, just kind of hangs out and then jumps in at the last minute to, like, get the killing blow, right? Now, my buddy, a good friend of mine, by the way, when I was a kid, I was pretty small. I was not very tall. I was very wiry. I was very skinny, right? So this kind of was matching up to that in some way. One of my best friends, Mikey, Big Mike, as he went by, was about a foot taller than me forever. Huge, like large guy, very strong, just a big dude. And when we got into Dungeons and Dragons, he was like a fucking half-orc barbarian. And he had a battle axe, and like he would just want to get in there and just totally demolish things. And I'm just like hanging back, like throwing darts and stuff. Like, so, and then later I realized that playing games like Morrowind or Oblivion or any of the Elder Scrolls series where you get to sculpt your character, that in a way I was playing with archetypes in terms of like what would it be like if I was a wizard or something like that, and engaging in the game world through intellect and spells, right, versus being the sneaky character or being, you know, the big brute or whatever. And now, like, I've done all of those things, but I find it interesting still that as a younger age, I just always gravitated towards the roles that I idealized. So I think really what Fuzzbug is getting into is really quite interesting. And I wonder, too, given that these archetypes are presented to us, are we funneling our experience of ideal into what's provided, and is that shaping what our ideal then becomes, like chicken or the egg sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think that's part of it, and also like just biology, you know, like men like women with big boobs because that means they're fertile. And or something.
Same with hips and asses too, right? Like,
And lips.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think it's an accident that lipstick is red often.
Oh god.
And big lips are attractive, right? Oftentimes.
Yeah. I'd say so. At least that's the like standard. But also I feel like, the media totally fucks with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that too, and I think that was sort of the question I was trying to get at with video games in terms of, like Fuzzbug is saying, like these idealized versions. He's just asking how do we feel about that discussion, and I wonder too, is it limiting in some way, or are younger minds seeing this and thinking that this is the ideal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably really damaging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on this, Anthony? I'm curious how you've related to archetypes and roles you've chosen to play over time.
I never really thought too much about it until a couple of years ago. I actually had a therapist who I really hope watches this at some point, because we talked about this idea like 2 years ago. But essentially, she opened me up to the idea that the archetypes. So, I mean, ignoring the games where you don't have a lot of choice, or like you're playing Call of Duty and it's basically going to be a guy. I don't know if Call of Duty is different now, but when I played it, it was like you were a guy. I don't think there were any women in the game, right?
Yeah, I still don't think there are really.
And they were just like these buff, like sort of army dudes or whatever. Yeah. And but when we played D&D is when this actually came up.
Okay.
When you're given a huge diversity of choices for a role to pick, and something really complex like a D&D campaign, what do the choices that you make say about either what you need, what you want, what you aspire to be yourself? And apparently for me, that was being a big, drunk, lumbering orc that carried a sword. Do you remember this?
I do remember this, yeah.
I started a fight in the first 5 minutes of our campaign.
I think it was less than that, really.
Yeah, maybe.
In the first 2 minutes.
It was. I think my first roll, actually, was to flip a table.
And I think what was so... Sorry, was there more you want to say about that?
No, keep going.
I remember this, right? We were playing together and playing with some other friends and acquaintances, and I couldn't help but notice, like, the individual that you got into conflict with within the Dungeons and Dragons game was someone that you engaged with in conflict, like many other times, and it was just like a total.
Yeah, were we playing something out there?
Yeah, I think you were playing something out. I don't know.
Well, we hadn't yet engaged in conflict. I think this was early on in our semester, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not conflict,
was that first
but
year?
Yeah,
it was first. It was.
This is 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now.
2 months into the. It was after my tree.
Yeah, I think I am telling this wrong. I don't think. Do you know what it is? It's since then, conflict has occurred between, and I think that was actually the first bit of conflict, and it was kind of sideways, right? It was kind of through this fantasy world of getting out a little bit of blatant aggression that was too difficult to interface with directly.
So I want to point out that Fuzzbug wants us to show Alex, May, and Zarya later.
Okay.
Because they are 2 female characters in this game that do not meet.
That's true.
Cool.
Your stereotypical female roles in a video game.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fuzzbug is also pointing out too that Overwatch in general, this Fuzzbug feels, is pretty good about representing a variety of body types, and I would agree with that. I do have some contention with the race and ethnicity around certain roles, and I feel like that does fall into very stereotypical.
May is, so just to talk about May, for instance, right? she has a non-stereotypical. She doesn't have a Mercy body type.
Okay.
She's maybe a little, I don't know, just overweight, thicker, whatever you want to say. She's got a bigger body. And she's Chinese?
Chinese.
Right? She's Chinese and she's a scientist. So if that's fulfilling a stereotype, then so
But the
be
other
it.
girl was also a scientist.
That's true, yeah.
Maybe there's
Yeah,
just
I
There's,
mean-
a lot, there's actually just a lot of scientists in Overwatch
I
because
guess right.
it's like a scientific endeavor
Uh-huh.
or whatever. But
You know, my main, the way that I noticed this, the biggest, is before they added Doomfist, there was one black guy in the game, and he was a DJ. And I just can't help but feel like there's a bit of a stereotype there. Like,
Yeah, and
you
he
got
had
one black
dreadlocks.
dude, and he's got dreads, and he's wearing headphones. Like, that feels a little stereotypical to me. And I think it, for people that don't interface with a lot of black people, it just reinforces a sort of stereotype there. And I feel that way about some of the other roles as well. I feel like this maybe is more, maybe, I mean, that one I think is kind of obvious, but I think a little more controversial was with the introduction of the character, I can't remember, the one
Damn
who's,
it.
the one who just killed you, what's her name?
Sombra.
Sombra. Yeah, I felt a little rubbed the wrong way with Sombra because
You rubbed the wrong way, you said?
I felt a little rubbed the wrong
The
rubbed the
wrong
wrong
way.
way.
Wub the wrong way.
Rubbed the
Wubba lubba dub dub.
But, you know, my issue with that is I just got this feeling, and maybe I'm oversensitized, but you have this Spanish-speaking character, and for some reason I feel like there's a stereotype, and maybe it's true or not, but that, like, Spanish people speak really fast. And her weapon is, like, the fastest firing weapon in the game, and her
Yeah.
character is small and, like, really quick and nimble, and I feel like that is some bit of a stereotype around.
Sure.
That sounds like a
People.
stretch to me.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
But maybe it's rooted in something like that. Some subconscious or unconscious.
Mhm.
Right, and that sort of begs the question. So this came up when Cody and I did our stream a couple weeks ago. Can the people who create this game create a game that doesn't have stereotypes?
Probably not.
Like, they are members of this society, just as anyone else, and they're going to create sort of this world in some sort of fashion that they see their world, unless it's like totally fictional, right? So where does that leave the game developers, right?
I just want to point out that RPMK 281 agrees with Alex too. That it was a bit of a stretch, my relating Sombra.
Sombra.
Fair enough. Yeah. But I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I was engaged in conversation just last night where the topic came up is, can data be neutral? And I feel like this is similar,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And a lot of people will say, sure, the data can just be the data. However, you like to ignore the environment from which that data arises is its own fallacy. So in the same way that you're talking about the video game makers, can they escape the cultural tropes of the culture that the game is being created in? It's asking someone to like step outside of their experience, which is kind of impossible in a way.
So wait, going back to archetypes?
Archetype. Yeah.
Archetypes. I like the idea of like archetypes bringing about a certain energy in a person.
Okay, cool. This is cool. What do
Yeah.
you say more about that?
It's almost like deity practice, I think.
Yeah. Wait, so can we unpack deity practice? For
We need like a
people?
Buddhist bell whenever a Buddhist term gets named. We need a little singing bell, ringing,
my
whatever,
goodness,
singing
so
bowl.
funny. One of you guys do it.
We don't actually have one. It's just a matter.
No, but describe.
She just
deity
means explain.
practice.
Oh, describe deity practice. Okay. I also want to acknowledge that Russ Mondra has asked us a question. What would we rather have than these cultural stereotypes? I think that's what he's referring to, and we're going to answer that in just a moment. I just want to acknowledge that you see that. So, deity practice is a practice in Buddhism where it's and I'm going to be very specific. It's a practice
Shit.
in Vajrayana Tibetan Buddhism.
Yep.
And it could probably be even more specific than that, but I'm not learned enough to say what school necessarily. Not school's not the right word. Anyway, basically it's this practice where you chant to oneself and you embody the principles of a figure.
You
which is
visualize mentally.
Visualize
That
mentally.
you
There's a lot
are
of-
that person.
There's a lot of descriptive words
Uh-huh.
that you read right before you do this practice that sort of get you in the groove of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So like one of
Yeah.
them is like the compassion queen or whatever.
Yeah.
So then you just pretend like you have as much compassion as this person, and how would that feel in your body, and how would you act, and how would you relate to the world if you had that like unlimited reservoir of compassion within you already.
And what I love about this is the caveat is actually you do.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
You are
You wouldn't
that
be able to
deep.
connect. Right. It's pointing out your inseparability from these ideas
Yeah.
and these feelings and these ways of being. And we are essentially, if you pretend in some way that you are this ultimately compassionate being, you're tapping into something that you have when you do it. And I mean,
Yeah.
when we're out in the world, we're, like, let's say that that's your intention of walking around that way, right? We're constantly shown all the obstacles that we have to actually carrying that out in the world, right? And so y'all were, before I interrupted and said explain what these practices were, you were about to relate deity practices to archetypes
In video games.
in video games.
Right. I mean, I was kind of going in a different direction maybe. But so what I was thinking is I just learned about
Thanks, Fuzzbug.
solution focused BT. I don't know what the B stands for, but some solution
Behavioral
focused.
therapy, maybe?
Maybe.
you talking
Yeah.
about DBT?
No, SFBT.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so essentially from what I understood, it's like kind of thinking about like what could go right and how things could look if there is a central kind of question. It's like, say like a magic fairy visited you and just sprinkled the fairy dust and like your miracle wish came true. Like what would that look like, And first of all, it's interesting to think, what is your miracle wish? Like what do you want things to be like?
Yeah.
So then that's got me thinking about the whole archetype deity thing, because it's like, can we just envision what we want and then embody it? And then just have what we want? Just like that?
I mean, I think to some extent, right? Like some things are just out of our control, but there are things in our life that are in our control.
Well, the way you relate to things is 100% in your control.
That I completely agree, right? And that's kind of, we need our Buddhist bell here, because that's kind of the crux of Buddhism in a huge sense there.
So like I've been noticing myself like, thinking certain thoughts or whatever, and I'm like, how would the ideal me relate to this situation or this thought? And I'm like, I can choose how I want to do that and how I think it would be most constructive to relate to these thoughts, or situations.
I
Yeah,
don't want
and
to put you on the spot too much, but I'm curious if you have an example, because this is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've noticed myself ruminating about, recent boys in my life or whatever. And so then I'll think, okay, well, so it actually really ties back into the whole attachment thing, because, like, I notice, I think about a guy and I'm, like, wanting something from him, and I'm thinking like, oh, like I should text him, or I should try and engage with him some way to get something from him. And I'm like, what do I really want right now? I want some kind of attention or some kind of love. I'm like, maybe I'll just give that to myself without going through that middle step, because I know deep down I'm not gonna get it. Like, he's just not willing to give me the kind of love that I really want.
And I'm wanting to ask because, let's say there's someone who actually has had an issue in their life with reaching out to people. So I'm hearing that by doing that, you're challenging yourself against your old ways.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, my reactive pattern would be to just blow up his phone. And I don't want to do that anymore. But
It's
yeah.
like text message from Alex Princios, and like in parentheses it says like 57.
You know me too well. Oh, you should have met me like 4 or 5 years ago. This is different. That was me for sure. Especially when I was drunk. Oh my god, so many
Drunk
embarrassing
texting.
things. Anyways, so like that's like part of it, and then I'm like, okay, like how do I want to relate to this kind of situation? And then like I want to tell myself like, you know, you don't need to be with anyone. You can, like, it would be lovely, like just how it would be lovely to have, you know, $1 million in the bank, and you don't need it. You know, it would be nice, but you don't need it. And also like, you know, focus on yourself and figure out a way to like enjoy this world and this life and not need that confirmation from someone else to do that, you know?
So I don't want to get too far off topic, but Fuzzbug had requested that we show you May and Zarya and Anna. And so this is Zarya. I actually just bought her while y'all were talking.
Oh.
I just bought her Halloween
Let's get
costume.
Physical.
So, but this is her classic. So Zarya is like a
That's
Russian.
awesome.
She's a Russian woman, and her Olympic outfits were as a weightlifter. Like literally, her gun that she has when she's in this outfit actually has like
Can we see it?
plates. Like,
We can if you hit next.
oh yeah.
Okay.
So
She's got
it's got
weights.
like literal like plates, like a weightlifter at the bottom of it. And I think I brought this up with Cody one time, and he says, "What does that say about how we view Russian women?"
That's true, right?
But yeah, I mean this breaks a huge mold in a way,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like
Sure.
a big Russian woman, and she's just the role that she plays is as
Look
a
at those
tank.
arms.
Yeah, look at that.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Good.
she's got the whole like
Yeah.
tribal tattoo thing going on.
And she's got pink hair.
Yep, and that's why her totally '80s outfit is rocking.
It is pretty. It's a pretty rad outfit in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
What's the weapon look like?
Oh.
Well,
Oh, yeah. It's like
the
a boombox.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Got the Alpine.
Yeah.
Gonna let the Alpine play there.
So that's one case in which this game I think really does make efforts to, you know,
To
break
some-
that Mercy stereotype that you saw when we first pulled it up. And then
May and Anna were the other two.
yeah, May. So May, I got a firefighter outfit on there.
Oh, I like that. That's so cute.
Yeah, she's like she's a nice. She's got curves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
She's
she's
a real woman.
she's smart.
She's a genius.
Only girls with curves are real women.
No, I didn't mean that. I just mean as
I
opposed
just
to
wanted to
just
give you
opposed
shit.
to the unrealistic scoliosis back of Mercy, which is
Yeah.
not the shape that any human being ever had ever.
Or
Right,
should
right.
have.
Yeah,
And then Anna, right?
yeah. Anna.
So Anna's like a grandmother, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like Anna. She's one of my favorite, honestly.
Yeah.
She actually has proportions of a human being,
Right, right.
Yeah.
like the most human proportions of any character.
Do we
in this
actually
game.
know? I mean, she's got like this coat on. You can't really tell.
She's got a
Corsair.
nice
Oh, is
pattern.
this new? Or is that from last year?
Yeah, and why don't we just look at the other one too?
Tracer?
No, the one.
Oh, Sombra.
No, I'm just thinking.
Mercy?
Orisa?
Symmetra.
Symmetra.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Symmetra.
Where's she at?
Also, too, because I think her new skin is the best skin ever created in this game.
That's
I
dope.
got a little deity skin there.
She's got a good.
Deity
She
skin.
definitely. She's Indian, and her skin's
Ow,
definitely
ow.
related to her Indian culture.
So she's got the.
Oh my, look
she's
at the
like
hair.
she's like the Indian version of Mercy here.
Her
with
legs
this-
are literally 60% of her body. Height.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But let's look at that new skin because
I
it's.
look at
Which
that
one?
new skin.
Oh, this one, Dragon. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Look
you're
at her
right.
feet.
Fuzzbug Sim does have a pretty stereotypical video game lady body, but I really just wanted Anthony to pull up this dragon skin because I think this is one of the most well done skins in this game. So
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It looks like Diablo
it really does.
or
It's freaking awesome
Kerrigan, a little bit.
for the low price of only 3,000 points.
3,000?
Yeah, you're gonna do it. Oh, you're gonna make me so jealous.
Wow, that's more than the other ones, isn't it?
No, some of the new like I think the Corsair one that we just looked at was 3,000.
Oh, because I just bought 2 back to back, and
some of them are.
did I have 9,000 when I started?
You did. No, you
Jesus.
didn't. You didn't. They were other ones are 1,000.
They're cheaper. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back in the game.
Let's get back in the game. So wait, let's open that loot box.
End of the
All
show.
right, end of the show.
That's one of the benefits for sticking to the end. You get to see the loot box.
The loot box. You don't get any of the loot.
Yeah,
You get-
I would give it to you if I could, because I don't want it either. It's probably just tags and voice lines.
Smash Jane is saying, save all your money till the end of the show, which I think is actually
Yeah.
nice.
We were gonna do a little segment, remember?
That's right. What?
Like a loot box segment
Loot box
at the
segment.
end.
Yeah.
Well, it's called "What's in the Box."
What's in the box?
And we're
All
gonna-
we need a graphic for this.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna
need Brad
play
Pitt's
the
face.
Brad Pitt. Yeah.
What's in the box? Oh, right. Yeah, that's a horrible reference.
Yeah. Good time of year for it.
Fuzzbug is letting us know that the 3,000 when the event happens. After the event, they go back to 1,000. Or
Oh,
no, they
even
come
the-
back. They come back when the next event happens. They'll be 1,000.
Oh, so like
Fuzzbug.
the next year?
I guess. I
'Cause you
think
weren't-
the implication there is next year at Halloween. Those will be.
Oh,
1,000.
well then that means I need to buy the Roadhog skin because I've wanted that one. I didn't play Overwatch last year during
Okay.
Halloween, and I've wanted that Frankenstein one so
one's
bad.
pretty good, yeah. Yeah, and Junkenstein was only 1,000. I looked at. Yeah. A
Okay.
year later, Fuzzbug is confirming.
Okay, great.
So I want to just step back into this conversation about video games and archetypes because this has actually been something
Mhm.
that trying to think. I don't know if I wrote about this in one of our papers, but it's a topic that I considered writing about because it was through I kind of had this similar thought, realized that I was basically doing this sort of archetype deity practice through creating characters in video games.
Uh-huh.
And I have this thing which I've wondered what this says about me as well, that these games, like I like these games that are based on Dungeons and Dragons, so like all the Oblivions, Mario, all the Elder Scrolls series, where you get to just create this custom character, and the more customization, the better. However, I create a character, I play it for like 2-3 hours, and then I just quit and create a new character with a whole new archetype and a whole new set of whatever. And I just get so much enjoyment out of like sculpting the archetype and then engaging with it for a little bit. And then I'm just like, but I don't want to see
Does
this
it
whole
change
idea.
your energy?
Totally.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
cool part, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get really into it, right? I just pretend I'm in that world for a little bit, and I'm a fucking wizard, you know, and I'm shooting fireballs. And it feels different than when I'm a wizard shooting ice balls.
Yeah.
It just does. I don't know.
I'm even thinking like a person with social anxiety could just be like, all right, like here's my inner like Rihanna or something, and like how would Rihanna deal with these, you know, fuck boys, like, you know, like.
I mean, I'm thinking of The Sims, right? Did you ever play that one?
I did.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of, it's like a computerized version of playing house. You get to have your dolls more or less interact with your other dolls.
But you weren't them.
Well, were you though?
I didn't look at it like that.
Right.
I mean, maybe you did.
Well, I didn't at the time. Right?
Uh-huh.
I also played that game. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed building the houses more than the other like social aspects. But looking back, in your experience playing that game, can you look at how you made those Sims players interact and think how that was a reflection of your own state?
I'm sure it was.
Do you have any memories of doing that?
I
Playing that
don't.
game?
I don't. I have very
Okay.
fuzzy memories of playing that game.
Yeah, sure. So that's a bad example. But I think it's an interesting subject to look at. I mean, especially when...
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about... I mean, I play Minecraft every now and then, and I was just totally zoned in one day, and I built this, like, super gigantic tall tower with a treehouse on top, and this moat at the bottom that was just, like, full of monsters. And I just had this moment of, like, what the hell is this saying about me right now? Like, I'm just building this giant.
Wow, it's like the
treehouse.
ultimate sand play therapy.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is. It is. That's why I like Minecraft. It's like sand play.
Oh
therapy.
man, we need to talk to Janalee about combining sand play therapy with Minecraft.
Uh-huh. Tell me about your mine that you've built here.
Here.
Tell me what you've crafted.
What is this? What is this TNT? What does this room full of TNT represent for you?
What would your character say to the creeper?
Oh
I
shit!
think we're losing Alex with these
I'm
references.
lost.
a
I'm
little bit.
totally lost.
Oh yeah, we'll have to play Minecraft one day, and then maybe Alex will come back on the show.
Yeah. Well, you did ask earlier what the point of Minecraft is,
I did.
and it's a giant sandbox. It's
Yeah.
like playing
Oh.
with virtual Legos.
And you can build things,
Yeah.
create and build.
And
Is that like other life or whatever, second life or?
No, it's
Similar.
making me. I've been watching The Office, and I
I'm
just
thinking about how Dwight's
Second-
life was
second
so
life?
great that he created a second life. Yeah.
Okay, wait. But going back to the whole like archetype, giving yourself energy kind of thing, and the miracle question, I noticed I've been thinking like, how would my ideal self relate to my experience? You know,
Okay.
like ideally, where would my attention be?
Where would it be?
Well, right now it's in my thoughts.
Uh-huh.
But I'm thinking like I probably want to be more embodied and more engaged with my environment.
Okay. So how we would do that right here in this moment? Ding is a little contemplative. bell
Did you
right
just
there.
feel uncomfortable there when he
No,
asked that?
I'm just thinking. I'm just trying to think. Like, but it's like so difficult because it's like on a moment to moment experiential level, you know? Like I see like all these colors and I'm just like, oh, like what is it like if I just kind of engage with this in like a sense perception way rather than just getting like staying caught up in my thoughts, and like what does that feel like? And is that better than being in my thoughts? Because my thoughts have a certain pull to them, you know? It's very, you know, actually, so I'm interning right now at Crisis Intervention Services, so we see a lot of people in psychosis with delusions and stuff. And I was talking to my supervisor, and she was saying, like, a lot of people who experience delusions actually prefer it to normal life because they're so special. It's like these people are after me, like they followed me from like states away, and like they're conspiring, and like I'm so important. And I'm thinking like that even has a parallel to like the whole Buddhist ego. Like we're so excited to be self-important that we'd rather be suffering and important than free and not important.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting what you're saying. I think there's some wisdom there. Like, it's so, I mean, what I'm hearing you say, it's like, there's such pull to identify with the thoughts and with the self because it comes with it a sense of I'm important. And to free yourself from that, according to Buddhist tradition, will actually lead to more contentment in your life, but you have to give up the security of being self-involved. I don't
And
know,
the
that was a pretty clunky
entertainment.
way to say it, but the entertainment.
Yeah. And it's like nothing's for free,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, I mean, has that been? I mean, I know you're practitioner, you're a Buddhist practitioner. Has that been your experience when you do what you say and disengage from identifying with your thought stream, engage with the environment? I mean, what's that experience been like for you?
Well, I feel like it kind of naturally happens sometimes. Like I notice when I'm with a guy that I really am interested in, I am just not caught up in my thoughts as much. I'm much more in my body, in my like relating to my environment, and that's so much better. Like
Why is it better?
because you're actually living life and not just thinking about it, you know? And I actually think that that's a cue that I'm not caught up in my attachment trauma response. You know, like I feel safe enough to just be in my body and not constantly be like worrying, planning, like envisioning the future and, worrying about my self-image, like am I lovable? How will I be more lovable? How will I get someone to love me? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, in those situations, I have been a lot happier.
Yeah, so focusing on the present, you don't engage with the worry and what sounds a little bit like anxiety, anxious thoughts of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, I'm reminded of a little bit of a cliche phrase that, anxiety is focusing on the future and depression is focusing on the past. And therefore being present with what's here and now. If you are truly present with now, it's hard to engage with actually, in a way, depression or anxiety. Not to say that those things will go away.
I don't know if I agree that depression is about the past.
I don't know if I totally agree with that either.
Yeah.
That's like a...
Right,
Yeah, I
that's
know,
the
I've heard that.
phrase.
I think Lao Tzu has been quoted as saying that, which is total bullshit, which is a whole other story. But I've seen that on Facebook. So I just want to take a moment to get back here to Russ Manja's question. When we were talking about tropes and stereotypes
Wow, I fucking
in
don't know.
video games, and talking about, and Anthony, you brought up the question, can a game developer make a game that's free of those?
Yeah.
And Russ was asking, what would that look like? And he's saying he doesn't necessarily disagree with that agenda, but curious about what would you rather have it look like if not those stereotypes?
I feel like you can't completely avoid stereotypes.
Mm-hmm. But what would be shifting away from them?
Well, I mean, I guess they're kind of doing it with like the non-stereotypical female bodies. That's
one way.
one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they even... There was a point at which the... Is the stream funky right now? Can you make a big screen and make sure that it's...
Yeah, I think
Smooth.
we're doing fine here.
I just want to note the most viewers we had during the stream is when we were talking about dicks.
No, it was after that. It was after.
Was it after that?
It was
Okay.
after. I can't do what you're asking of me.
Can't make a big
Requiring
screen.
me.
No, I don't have the functionality here.
As long as it looks okay. That's I guess all I'm
looks
worried
okay.
about.
So back to the question, what would it look like if not the cultural stereotypes? I mean, I guess what entered my mind is like, can you make a game that's devoid of people? No, that wouldn't like.
Yeah,
be
if
called
the
blobular
people were
bots.
aliens or something.
People were aliens, right? I still feel like it would fall into some stereotype somehow.
Yeah.
I think it's just unavoidable.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe not about... I mean, my gut is actually saying what you're saying. Because it's unavoidable, spending the time to try to make it devoid of that is almost fruitless.
Shit.
And it's how can you interface with it in the way that feels the most fair and at least acknowledging the
Right.
stereotypes that are there.
Right.
And I think what you said, doing the female body types is one way. I think it would be cool too to I don't know, maybe like have the ninjas not be Asian guys, right? Like, because that's kind of what it is in Overwatch.
Mhm.
The ninjas are Asian, so what would it look like if the ninjas were not Asian? But I don't know.
I want to see if Facebook is still being funky.
Facebook, we're still having trouble with the conversation.
Yeah.
We'll have to work on that functionality. And I'm actually just noticing now in a restream, it's still trying to connect us to that stream.
Oh yeah. So we can't.
So we haven't been fielding any comments or questions coming through Facebook. I apologize to anyone who's trying to talk with us
Yeah.
through that outlet. And this is a work in progress, trying to get things tweaked and optimized.
I have another question for you guys.
What's up?
Do you think everybody is inherently lovable?
Ooh. I don't know.
Well, school tells me yes.
But your heart says otherwise.
I mean, inherently, before, like, from a distance, sure.
Okay.
Before I hear them speak or get it, or know anything they've done, sure.
Is everyone inherently
Lovable, but not by
worthy
me.
of love?
I like that answer too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's true. There's preferences. You're not
Russ
gonna like
Manja
everyone.
says no.
No.
Russ Manja.
no. Are
Say
people
more,
who-
Russ. We're curious what you mean.
Yeah, please. Russ Manja.
What were you saying?
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, My gut says yes. Okay, maybe not. Isn't everyone inherently lovable? But is everyone inherently worthy of love and deserving of love? Like just by virtue of having like a human heart and human fears and longings and pain and compassion and stuff. Right? Like, what are our criteria for being worthy of love? I think that's something that I really need to consciously reevaluate, because so far it's been pretty unhealthy, I think.
Well, I mean, what's your answer to this question? Is it yes?
Yeah,
As simple as that?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would agree. I think that's so hard to put into practice because there's freaking Nazis and racists and people that really want to cause a lot of harm, and it's so hard to look at them when people are acting that way and be like, oh, you're inherently lovable. But there is part of me that, and in no way am I defending that behavior in the least bit, but there is part of me that sees people acting that way, and I can't help but feel like you're in a lot of pain.
That's exactly why they're acting that way.
It's exactly why they're acting that way.
That's the only reason why.
And
Wait,
part of
say
me-
more. Say more. I got lost being on the game. Are y'all saying that there's a difference between someone being inherently lovable? Is that what you said? And then worthy of love? Is that what I was hearing?
Well, I think we're
Yeah.
just refining what the question really was.
Okay.
But then now we were just saying that people who act destructively in hurtful ways are just in pain. And ultimately, everybody just wants to be happy, and they're just doing whatever it is they think will make them happy and make them avoid suffering.
So everyone's just doing what they can to be happy and to avoid suffering.
I
And
think so.
sometimes that means, being a Nazi. And that's where it gets hard for me.
Well, wasn't Hitler ultimately just trying to make himself happy and avoid suffering? Of course, his actions were like horrendous. That goes without question.
Okay.
And
he was trying to make himself happy. I mean,
Right?
I can't argue with that.
yeah. But I mean, so like maybe if Hitler really felt like he was unconditionally lovable and he gave himself that love, he wouldn't feel the need to take it out on other people.
Possibly. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, what's coming to mind for me is people that are just true fucking sociopaths and lack empathy, right? Like,
But I
And I
mean,
think that was
that's a
Hitler.
rare,
I think that was Hitler though, and that's the
and that's
case study
that's
we're
like
bringing
a
up.
brain, like amygdala functioning kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, I honestly I don't know for sure. I mean,
That's a big question, right? Like,
I think the
'cause-
Dalai Lama would just say yes.
I think he would too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like I guess I'm saying it like in terms of relating to myself. Can I give myself unconditional love and be confident in that?
Oh, so that's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
And without answering that, I think another question is, can someone love themselves knowing that they're causing harm to other people? Is something that comes up for me.
Well, I feel like giving yourself that love is going to reduce the suffering. Like, okay, I was actually talking about this last night. Like someone who is acting really destructively and hurting other people, if you start adding shame and guilt to that, that's just going to perpetuate the cycle. But if you like start healing those patterns with love, it's probably going to do a lot more help.
So
Or-
what does that look like, healing those patterns of love?
Like, so say for instance someone
Oh, fair
has
enough.
done something really horrible in the past and has really, really hurt someone else.
Yeah.
One approach to that would just be, telling themselves like, I'm such a bad person, like I don't deserve to be happy, like I should feel guilty, and like how can I live with myself, and like all that stuff, right?
And I think I agree, and I want to point out that I'm such a bad person. I think it was more shame than guilt.
Okay.
Slight distinction there.
Okay.
You're talking about a shame response, right? So is someone's shame response going to be helpful?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh God, get me out of here!
Apparently this conversation is uncomfortable for Anthony. Or no, you're talking about the game?
Yeah. I jumped into a team fight and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
No, I'm really enjoying what y'all are talking about because how it brings up the question for me of how do we show kindness or care or give attention to or insert your positive feeling here to people that it's difficult for us to do that with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think not everybody has to do that too, right? There's
Yeah.
special people that can work with other people, right? Like, I know, Anthony, you've mentioned that you've done some work with sex offenders.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have a capacity to show compassion to these people, and in no way does that
Condone their actions.
yeah, thank you. No
Yeah.
way does that condone their actions. However, I think
Right.
one of the consequences of what you're saying, Alex, in terms of going into that shame response of, okay, so I've done something bad, I'm a shitty person, and now you tell yourself that, well, now that's fodder for you to go do other shitty things, because you're a shitty person, so you don't know any better. So how do you interrupt that shame cycle and separate it from, I did something really shitty, I'm not a shitty person, I don't need to keep doing shitty things because I'm actually a good human being who's done some horrible, horrible things.
So RPMK281 says, but sociopaths don't have shame and guilt typically.
Yeah, that's something that I brought up too. When you're dealing with a sociopath who lacks empathy, they don't have shame and guilt. So how do you work with those people? And that's why, in the case of Hitler, this conversation changes for me, because I think he was truly a sociopath and didn't think what he was doing was wrong.
But is it okay? If it's a result of his brain functioning plus what?
I want to challenge that. So, for someone who, I just want to challenge what Zach said.
Okay.
Yeah, challenge
It
away.
seems different when you're talking about someone who doesn't care about their impact on others versus not seeing that their impact was negative.
Okay.
So, like, in one case, you're acknowledging that there was pain. And in another, you're saying, oh, there was no problem there.
Okay. Yeah. So
So I think that maybe the quote, I mean, if we're just talking about sociopaths generally, sociopaths might say something like, oh, well, there was nothing wrong with what I did.
okay.
And the person who might have more capacity for understanding their impact would start arguing with that impact.
Okay.
Like, oh, it's not. Like, if the person tells them that, they're like, oh, no, that's stupid. That's, like, no problem. Does that make any sense, what I'm saying?
I feel like you don't even have to be a sociopath to react that way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get accused of being sociopath, and they actually do have empathy and guilt and whatever emotional responses come up around, having had a painful impact on others. It's just hard for them to hear that, because
Yeah.
what does it mean about them to hear that they just hurt someone?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
like, I don't think
I
Trump is a
actually-
sociopath, for instance.
You think he's aware of his harm and just ignores it away?
Yeah, he's just like, oh, well, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It does. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. The question comes back to me is how do you work with someone?
I think they have to be willing.
Okay, so they have to be willing. So what does that mean?
I think they have to be willing to look inside and see what their own pain is and why they're taking it out on other people and they're wanting to heal. You can't force that.
This is leading my mind to a topic that I really want to discuss in this format, which is around toxicity in gaming, right? When someone comes on Overwatch and is just raging out on people, what's going on with them that they want to start causing problems for other people? And I think it's actually very, very few that are truly sociopaths and don't care about their impact. And there's something else going on there that they don't want to look at.
Give us a for instance.
For instance, I can just give a personal example. I know when I'm having a really bad day, when things have not gone well for me, I have in the past gotten on a video game and just talked a shit ton of smack to people and just raged out. And that's not normally how I am. And I only manifest that way when I'm already dealing with some issues of my own. And when, I mean, one theory behind why someone might do that is when someone lacks the sort of emotional intelligence to really
Regulate, self-regulate.
yeah, to self-regulate, to even be aware of their own feelings, that they unconsciously or not consciously try to make other people feel that way.
Well, I mean,
And
think
that's
about
how
it.
it validates their experience.
When you're in pain, you're a lot more irritable.
Yeah.
Russmon just says they think they're right too.
And they think they're right too.
Wait,
yeah.
what do you mean?
Like they think they're in the right.
Oh, like
Like
Trump
what they're
and
doing is
stuff?
right.
Yeah.
The mask of anonymity.
Oh, I think he's talking about the gaming thing.
I think so. Yeah. They think they're right too, though. Yeah. So, Russmon, will you say more? Just to clarify a little bit about what you're referring to there. Feel free to take up as much text space as you want here. You know, the mask of anonymity was something that was just brought up by one of the creators of Overwatch, right? Jeff Kaplan, and one of the
Yeah.
just
You want
a
to
few
pull up
weeks
that
ago.
video? You had
You know,
those.
We got another comment. Trump might think he's in the right too, whether they're just too sheltered or ignorant. Yeah, so
Mm.
these people think that they're right.
Yeah, and they think they're doing like the best for themselves, and I guess their followers. I don't know.
Maybe after this match, we can pull up this clip from
Sure.
Jeff Kaplan talking about toxicity in gaming.
Do you guys have any outlets for creative expression?
In a way, I mean, honestly, gaming is one of it for me. I'm talking about like Minecraft, where I can just create a world around me, and doing this sort of architect work is through video games is creative. But other than that, you know, art and music and stuff. What about you?
I don't really, and I want more.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like I just want more play in my life. Like not take things so seriously and not just worry about the function, like but more about the form.
Yeah, okay. So what would that look like?
I don't know. Like well, I think a lot about kind of like honoring the life within me. Like as I'm just like any other person, you know. I would want to honor them and what they have to produce creatively in their individual expression or whatever, and like why not do the same for myself and like, you know, let myself surprise myself. See like what I have inside or something.
You know, I'm recalling a time where the three of us actually did some improv.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
We didn't
yeah.
even plan to do the improv, which truly made it improv.
Yeah,
I don't know what was
improv.
going on there. I think in that scenario,
You know, outside of Red Feather?
outside of Red Feather, all of a sudden I think we were like on a submarine. There was like overflowing or something like that. But we were in it. We were playing.
That was fun.
How about you? Can you back out of this one?
Oh yeah.
Too late.
What were we gonna do?
We're gonna pull up that.
Oh, the Jeff Kaplan.
That Jeff Kaplan. So it's in your Google Keep I shared with you. If you can pull up your Google Keep.
Google Keep.
Yeah, the little note program there.
Gonna do something about this mic being so close to the keyboard.
Maybe you could put it up.
I'm reminded too
Then
of.
it's in the screen.
But like if it was up
Like
there.
oh yeah, we
We'll have
could
to
do that.
We'll do that. Let's do that next time.
So which
Google
one?
mic.
This one?
So,
Okay.
anonymity. We can look at either one of all of those are good clips. So,
Let's see here.
can we pull that into the screen here so we can all be watching the same thing?
Oh, let's see.
Let's pause. Yeah, we could go back just a second to 342.
Woo! That was loud.
It's real loud.
Let's pull it up here.
And the other thing is the fact that we all have this anonymity online that we don't normally have in our everyday lives. I've noticed when I'm driving in my car and there's somebody in another car, there's a layer of anonymity there that maybe makes it okay for that other driver to call me a jerk when they wouldn't do it to me in person if they knew who I was.
Yeah.
And I think that level of anonymity is even higher in video games, and it makes people behave in a way that I just don't think they would if they were sitting in a room with somebody else.
Right, who hasn't experienced that in games?
Right.
And who hasn't experienced that
Shit.
yelling at the schmuck who doesn't know how to drive? in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
you?
I probably did that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what Jeff Kaplan goes on to say there, too, though, is that, at least in the gaming community, the onus is on us as gamers
Yeah.
to call that behavior out. And to
Totally.
put an end to that behavior. I mean, that dev report that he put out was talking about how Blizzard, the makers of Overwatch, are stepping in to help regulate the situation, but he also put it back on us as gamers to tell other gamers, hey, that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually happened just the other day when I was playing Overwatch. Pre-game, which is always so frustrating for me, we haven't even started the game, and during matchmaking, people just start getting into it. And I just can't even fathom how they think they're going to have a good game if they're fighting with their teammates before the game even started. But it was this really young-sounding person, and they got upset because someone wouldn't play the role that they wanted them to, and then some trash talking happened. And this dude just started starting dropping F-bombs, and just started totally freaking out. And like my something just kicked in, and I just started talking to this person like they were a kid, and I'm just like, hey buddy, you're okay, you're all right,
You're safe.
we're all good here, like everything's cool, like you're okay, like it's all right, man, like things got heated, but you're good. And then he, like, you know, snapped off again. I'm just like, you're good, everything's cool, we're all right, we're all right. And sure enough, like, you know, the situation calmed down.
Yeah.
And it was at least one instance where some kindness actually diffused the situation. We don't really know what just happened there.
Woke me up.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I think. Can we go back to the chat? I've lost my chat capabilities here as we're working things out. I think that noise was loud, and other people want to know what the hell
Yeah,
just happened.
sorry, Bagel. I was playing with a clip in my hand, a really strong one, and it got away from me.
Snapped off. So, I mean, the mask of anonymity lets people be jerks on the internet. They think they're right when they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that happens, right, in all sorts of areas in our life. I mean, who's ever worked in an office and sent an email that they wish they actually probably didn't send? I've definitely been there.
I don't think I've done that at work.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Well, one time what happened was I was in an elevator. It's really funny. I was going over with one of my coworkers to do some like IT stuff too for this guy's team, and he was just pretty much being a fucking idiot and like just didn't know what was up. And I was talking about it in the elevator. I was like, "Ugh, this guy's so stupid, and like his team is so stupid." Blah blah blah. So my boss calls me in the next day saying, "Oh yeah, you were in the elevator with that guy you were talking about."
Oh no!
No way! Jesus.
And he was like, "Well, he doesn't really have the power to do anything, but you should probably not shit talk people. You don't know what they look like in elevators."
Well, and what are we doing when we're shit talking?
What are we doing when we're shit talking?
Yeah. Like.
Well, this goes right back to what I was saying before in my mind.
Yeah, like you were angry.
Yes.
Right. What need if we're going to nonviolent communication there, right? Like when I tell somebody that something is wrong with them when I'm feeling a certain way. Ooh, I haven't played Eichenwald yet since Halloween. Is it going to be like a special map?
It's nighttime.
And it has like stuff.
Trick or treat stuff.
Okay, cool.
Speaking of which, you said you had candy.
Oh, you want some?
Yeah, I do.
So
Candy was promised.
So if you pull back the green screen here, on my shelving
Behind the
unit over
scenes
there.
Here.
Shelving unit.
Disappeared into the
See the orange bag on the left?
Oh my god, Reese.
Yes. I ate all the actual Reese's, but there's a bunch of Reese's Pieces left.
Oops.
And I got that crinkling noise is wonderful.
Yeah.
I got a message here saying that the delay is brutal, so I wonder
Really?
how we can
What platform are they watching on?
From Twitch, I think even. Just is a
Really?
little brutal. Yeah.
Well, she just went. That was what, 20 seconds ago?
Yeah. This is someone trying to speak with us, and I guess
I think the longer that we go,
the more.
Where are you
brutal
guys
it
seeing
becomes.
this?
Here's our chat.
Yeah.
I got a message. I
Oh,
got
okay.
a private message from one of our viewers stating that the delay was brutal.
yeah, I think the longer that it goes, the more likely it is that the latency increases over time. So.
I don't get why people like watching other people play the game.
Why is that?
Well, they might not like watching me play.
But why wouldn't you just want to play yourself? Why would you want to watch someone else play?
Well, I think a lot of the times when I watch other streams, I actually am playing a game. It's just like on the other screen. So it's like sort of entertainment or something to do or...
Yo, you guys are so overstimulated.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
I mean, I say you guys, I do it too. I'm so guilty of it. Like, I can't even take a shit without my phone.
There it is. What we were just talking about.
I can't.
When you feel a certain way, did you not just put it on us?
What do you mean?
You said we're overstimulated.
But then I said me too.
I know, but
Right,
first came out, you had to tell us we were overstimulated.
But
why
that's
not just lead with I need my phone to take a shit?
Well, because he was saying I watch it while I play another game, and I was like, holy shit, that's really overstimulating.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I also.
It is quite different
need my phone to
than,
take shit.
reading Reddit on the crapper.
Yeah,
Is
I mean,
it?
it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, I think so.
Because you don't want any gaps
Look at
in your
this.
consciousness.
I'm
I don't even want to guess.
surrounded by
Surrounded
screens
by
here.
screens.
Yeah, seriously.
You got 4 screens in front of you, and a green screen behind you.
How do you deal with space?
Me?
Yeah.
I keep this shit off as much as possible.
Yeah.
To
Oh,
be
you
perfectly
do?
honest. Yeah. I go.
Which is what? 4
I'll go-
or 5 hours a day? Turned off.
I've been. If I do want to watch something, I try not to like do it on the computer, so I'm not like multitasking.
Taxing.
So like one thing I try to do is be doing what I'm doing. When I'm watching Twitch, I'm probably playing another game as
Right.
well. But if I want to watch Netflix or something, I try and like
Just watch Netflix.
watch Netflix. I'm not.
I
I
know
don't
it's
want to
hard.
have Netflix on while I'm doing something else,
I know.
which happens
Yeah.
too, right?
I mean, that's how I relate.
But that's still
sometimes.
stimulation. And your question was like, how do I sort of deal with
Relate to
having
space.
this in my room, maybe? And for me, it's just a matter of literally not putting power onto this machine until I know I'm like ready to watch something or if I know I've got time to waste. I can't do it casually. So I try and be as intentional as I can about my gaming these days, which is much different than how I used to relate to it, which was just like every free moment you can relate to that, right?
Right.
I feel like we may have been talking about it. Like, I think I might have talked to you about this, Zach. But is it also the case that video games are just so much more interesting than real life? So that
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So how we were talking about that? We were talking about thoughts just being more interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I think video games, in a lot of ways, are more interesting than real life. Right?
Russ says he watches for the insightful commentary.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Is that a compliment for
I
us?
think we got our first compliment.
That's awesome.
We don't have an overlay for that yet. Be on the lookout.
We also compliment. No, I don't think we need that overlay. That's a little.
You're right.
Well, Smashton also pointed out that this person actually generally watches insight and improvement into their own gameplay.
Yeah, I will say I do that as well.
And my
Especially
question for you is,
Overwatch.
What do you like to watch?
I honestly haven't been watching stuff a lot lately.
Okay, I feel like you're avoiding the question though. So what do you like to watch? Not
Like on Netflix?
on anything. What do you like to watch?
What do you? I don't understand.
Do you watch stuff on a screen ever in your life?
I think.
What are you doing on the webs these days?
I probably browse more than watch.
When you did watch,
Comedy shows, The Office, Archer.
right? So
The Office.
The Office, yeah. I mean, it's not the same, but like, why not go work in an office?
Because
Zach, what's your point behind these questions?
My point behind these questions is Alex's response was, why not just play the game instead of watch other people
Oh.
play them?
Oh.
And I'm saying, like, why does anybody watch anything? On some level, it's like, why watch basketball instead of just go play basketball? And it's because people are way better at basketball than I am, and it's more enjoyable to watch them play than to have my ass get schooled in a pickup game. To some extent, it's the same for me watching other people play games.
yeah, I think I just am not familiar enough with games to like recognize when someone's good or not.
yeah. it's
So like, I just
it's
wouldn't even
not
know.
your jam.
It's not my jam.
Yeah.
Diva just suicided, I think.
It doesn't have to be your jam either, you know. We're coming close to the end of our show
I
here.
think this is going to be our last game. Last match.
Any final comments, burning questions from the audience out there? I know the delay is brutal, so I should probably should have asked this 10 minutes ago, maybe.
Appreciate y'all putting up with us tonight, too, with the technical difficulties at the beginning there. What was that, like 10 minutes?
10 minutes we were talking without any audio.
We were just going. We didn't need chat room. We were just talking.
I'm so engaged that I actually ignored several private messages letting me know that there was no volume. Yeah, and just engaging with that thought stream can be so much more enjoyable than.
Oh my god, this Genji
environment.
Oh my god. Woo!
Is there outro music?
I think we do have a track.
Oh
We
yeah,
gotta open
we
boxes.
do have a track. Russ Manja might know something about that,
I
right?
might. Russ Manja was the a creative collaborator in this outro music that we have.
Smash Gin was promised a box opening segment.
Oh yeah, we got to do what's in the box. How could we forget?
Yeah, luckily we're not.
Oh god.
We're not going to be running into some airtime for someone else's show, and it's okay if we go over.
You're right. Yeah, I think last time we went 38 minutes over, so maybe we'll do PTT After Dark.
PTT After Dark,
Mhm.
perhaps.
Mhm.
Which
We
is something
start
that's
playing
really great
Fortnite?
about this. Fortnite. Something that's really great about this venue, right? Is we have a 2-hour show, but you know we can go longer if we
Yeah,
need
we can
to.
do whatever the hell we want here.
I think
This is
there'll
our
be
channel.
Some days where we're really going to want to keep the conversation going.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose? Oh, we
yeah,
won!
won.
Victory.
Did
Wow.
we lose? Did we win?
Did I play the game? I had a pretty sick high noon there. Nope.
Chester
sick intro.
Whipple Filter says, "Hi guys."
Hey, Chester.
Lul.
Oh, on YouTube.
Nice.
What's going on there, Chester?
Hey, Chester. It looks like we're not coming. Oh, because we just did.
Yeah, we're on the Twitch thing, so I'll pull up the restream
And mine
chat.
went down a bit ago.
Yeah, so we.
Hey, Chester. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us. We're wrapping things up here. We I don't know. We might be on for a little bit more,
A
but
little bit more. We gotta
we're
open some boxes.
calling it on the game for right now.
Yeah.
We got a loot box that whole night. We got one loot box.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we do an arcade, and I get two loot boxes. Because if I win one more,
We'll go for it.
want to go for it?
Yeah, I say go for it, and I think we can use this time to. You know, I think I want to do this Gestalt practice. One thing we appreciate and one thing we.
Oh yeah,
what is
yeah.
it?
All right, Bagel's
Regret.
calling for it, so we're gonna do normal so we can win this.
We look fabulous. That's
Thank you,
phenomenal.
Chester.
Thanks, Chester.
Wait, what's the practice?
It's to say one thing we appreciate and one thing. What was the word?
We repulses us
No,
or
not repulse.
resent?
Resent
Yeah.
about this evening.
And is there a
show.
way that the thing that we resented could be something that we appreciate?
Yeah.
Oh, and you replace the word "I resent" with "I appreciate,"
think
and then
so.
you do this opposite for the "I appreciate."
I don't know if you do anything for the resent one
Yeah.
or for the.
I think mainly. I think the main part there is just one thing we appreciate, one thing that we resent.
This could be a weapon.
It's cool.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, it could be.
Let's save that. Let's save that for post what's in the box.
Post what's in the box. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got one more game here. Is there any other?
Wonder if Chester has anything, any questions he wants answered in the last
Yeah, Chester, we are.
few minutes here.
We're Push to Talk Radio. I gotta take this. Okay.
Take this thing on YouTube.
Not sure what that means.
I don't either. That last name is killer though. Whipple filter.
That's nice. Just a reminder what we're doing here. This is Push to Talk Radio. We are here to discuss life, work, relationships.
I have a question.
We've got a question from in the house.
In-house question.
Alex Pincius.
Do you guys have any alter egos?
Oh,
I'm playing one
I
right
do.
now.
yeah.
What is it?
Well, what's yours? And do you?
She asked first, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's her line, bro.
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 Yeah, my alter ego, really is the gamer tag I've come to use.
Oh, Artifacts.
Year after years. Artifacts, yeah.
And what's Artifacts like?
Artifacts is,
This is like Philly Jim.
Philly Jim.
I'm sorry, I've got a lot of Office references in the coffers tonight, but when Jim goes to show Pam what Second Life is,
Oh, right.
he has to create a character in it,
Uh-huh.
and he calls it Philly Jim. She's like, I didn't know you played guitar, and he's like,
right.
oh, I don't,
I
but
know. It's Philly Jim.
oh, you're a sports writer in Philly? I want to know more about Philly Jim.
To answer your question, Artifacts is, he's a combination of intellect, wisdom, and ninja skills.
Is he also a midget
No, he's not a half.
or a little person? Halfling?
He's not a halfling. He's not a hobbit. He's got the physique of Bruce Lee and the mind of Elon Musk.
Sounds like just an Ultraman.
Yeah, he's my Ultraman. He's the Ultraman that I want to be.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
You're ideal.
he's got a six-pack. He knows kung fu. He's also super wise and smart. That's Artifacts.
Okay, I'm seeing two sides to this. On the one hand, I see, this like embodying an archetype as like a way to kind of draw out aspects of yourself that you wouldn't normally feel
Yeah.
comfortable doing.
This kind of goes back to the deity practices earlier.
Right. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, is part of that like kind of self-aggressive? To say,
Say more.
like, you're not okay as you are, you need to kind of drum something up to be better or more okay or more acceptable.
Well, I'm reminded of
Depends on
Pema
how you
Chodron
relate
right
to it.
there. That quote of everybody's perfect, but there's always room for improvement.
What's that? Is that her that
I
said
don't know.
that?
I think so.
I think Bruce Tiff says something similar. He says you got to be okay with your house, and if you do any renovations, that's great. But if you don't, you still have like a working house.
Yeah, I mean, it's along those lines, right? I think it would be self-aggressive if, like, I hated myself and I needed to change. And I think sometimes I get into that mood and I hit the gym hard and then I've pulled muscles in the gym more than once.
I was there one day when you did that.
Yeah. There's some self-aggression there.
Ooh. How do you guys feel about separating art from the artist? Actors, directors, etc. Not sure if you want to talk about it tonight or next. I don't know what you mean.
Abel Frederick. Wow. Wait, there's another comment in there. Can we see
What
the
does that
expanded
mean?
chat?
It's right here.
Okay, just one line. So Russ Manja is actually naming an alter ego of mine that I forgot about.
Oh, cool.
Oh my God!
Which is
So
Abel
you know Russ.
I do know Russ Manja. Yeah, he's a good friend. Wonderful, wonderful human being. So this is a true story. We used to spend a lot of time. I'm off camera. There is there in the basement of my house. My dad kept all these medical files on stacks, and they just had last names.
Okay.
And we just thought they were hilarious the way that they would come out. And one of them, like the box was just like Abel to Frederick, like Abel - Frederick. And I created this whole story around this guy named Abel Frederick who lived in a magical world and sailed across the ocean to defeat the evil wizard Meticulous and free the world from harm.
Isn't it funny to think that your name on a medical box can somehow lead to someone's alter ego?
Yeah.
Name?
It's pretty wild. It's just totally random.
Maybe there's someone with an alter ego called Kruger Prinzios.
Kruger Prinzios, yeah. What would that person be like?
A fucking baller.
Baller is just...
Wait. So I still don't understand what this whole separating the art from the artist thing, what you guys are talking about.
I think, like, I'm with the Harvey Weinstein thing.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
artists that do things that
do we, I mean, I'm
objectionable.
thinking, so I'm just going to go to Mel Gibson, okay? Because I was raised Jewish, and
Okay.
I fucking loved Lethal Weapon, and I watched Braveheart.
Oh my god, fucking
I watched
Lethal Weapon.
Braveheart like 8 times. Actually, Russ Mandra and I watched Braveheart like 8 times on like a 3-day ski trip. Like, it's not even possible. Somehow we managed to do this. And then he comes out with all this anti-Semitic stuff, and it's like, do I still appreciate his movies, knowing that he's a frickin' hates Jews? And do we continue? I don't even know what Harvey Weinstein does.
He owns the Weinstein.
What do they
Company.
Maybe he was
there.
a director?
No, I don't even think he was
Producer?
that involved. I think he owns the production company that a lot of these movies were.
And what if it comes out that the makers of Overwatch are anti-Semitic? Do I stop playing Overwatch?
Well, what do you guys think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's
Well,
tough. It's like,
I would say they are separate.
yeah, it's tough. I go back and forth. I don't think I can see the arguments in both directions, and I can't make a clear decision.
But maybe there's like this assumption that if you appreciate their art, that you are kind of endorsing what they have said that's
Yeah.
destructive. And
Yeah.
maybe that assumption doesn't need to be true. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, like, what if Hitler made these really beautiful...
Fuck that. I would fuck those paintings. I'd burn those paintings in a fucking pile. Straight up, and then I'd piss on them.
Like, what if Shakespeare pulled, like, Hitler things, you know?
And then any culture that celebrated fucking Romeo and Juliet.
But
Juliet,
do
whatever,
they
could go to hell.
celebrate them, or do they, like, critically kind of appreciate them?
I wouldn't.
I think I
That's
would.
where I stand on that.
Oh, Russ Manja says, nah,
Yeah.
don't support that shit.
Yeah, Russ says don't support that shit. I think he and I are more on the same boat with that shit. I mean, this came up for me with The Doors, really, to be honest. The band, The Doors, Jim Morrison. I really liked The Doors. I watched The Doors movie a lot. And after watching it a lot, I just decided I liked Jim Morrison less and less and less. And then hearing these recordings of him just saying awful things about women and treating women really poorly, it's like, how can I be cool with this music when the guy singing it represents values that I really abhor?
Well, maybe that just adds another layer to your perception of the music.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, I don't really listen to The Doors anymore. I actually moved away from it because it became less romantic and more gross to me when I hear the lyrics in the context of knowing that he is kind of a gross dude.
Oh, look, Shakespeare was anti-Semitic, apparently.
I did not know that. And I'm not a big fan of Shakespeare anyway, so
Problem
works
solved.
for me. Yeah.
I mean, I don't particularly like Shakespeare either, but I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about South Park? They make fun of Canadians all the time. Does that bother you?
No, because I am not insecure in any way about being Canadian.
Right.
I feel like, oh man, that like dark kind of topical comedy is tricky, I think.
Like
because
what? Like
I
Oh
feel
my god, I cannot kill this Mercy.
I feel like they take it too far sometimes, but like that's kind of their niche.
Yeah, and I think South Park's not the best example because they know what they're doing on purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to shout out to Games Fox on YouTube.
Hey, Games Fox, thanks for tuning in. Hi.
Ugh.
All right.
pour these things out onto the table.
Oh, you want that?
How do you open this package? I've been spending the past 10 minutes trying to open this fucker.
I use
Called
my
teeth.
mouth
Oh, you do it that way. Thank you.
and then pour them on the table so we're not doing crinkling noises into the mic.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted some.
that too, actually.
Okay.
Tigera, well, hello to you too.
Damn!
Tigera19.
Whoa.
Taijira!
hello.
Tigera. Welcome, welcome. We're here at the end of the show. This is a fan favorite section that we like to call. Can we say it all together here?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
We all
So
said it.
We've got one,
We got
two
boxes.
loot boxes now. I don't want to do another match, but I just want to see something. I don't even know how that endless one works, but we can get another one there if we wanted to. All right.
All right. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh, looks like nothing.
Garbage.
Tons of garbage.
Is that a
Wait.
speaker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Or
a
whatever,
voice. It's a voice line.
mic?
That's actually kind of cool. I'll put
Yeah,
it
it's
on
just a
there.
voice line that.
Where's Cody?
Character
Oh,
can say.
someone's missing Cody.
Oh wow.
Cody's gone.
Cody's not here today.
Yeah,
He'll be back next week. This is Alex. This is our friend Alex. She agreed to come on and be our guest today since Cody was out, and we're hoping she's going to come back. Did you
Yeah.
have fun tonight?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
And I'm Zach, also kind of new.
Oh,
to-
yeah, you
new to-
weren't-
I
you weren't
wasn't
on here
there,
either, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a special guest appearance as well. I don't know if I'll be here all the time either.
Hmm.
I'll be here, but I might not be right here.
Hmm.
But I'll always be here.
I'll be here playing games for a couple hours every Saturday night. And if it weren't for my friends here, I would be too distracted to keep any type of entertaining conversation going. So I'm really
That's
happy
true.
that you guys were here tonight.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here. I had a great time.
How does it
tonight.
work out with just you and Cody?
I think it worked pretty well
Mhm.
that first night.
Mhm.
Cody really kept things going, but I'm liking this format more. It takes pressure off of everyone. I don't feel as worn out. After 1 hour last time, we like had to step away for
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, and it allows for more views to come in, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Oh,
Damn
more
it.
garbage.
Okay, well,
Nah.
what is this supposed to be?
Better luck next time.
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess.
Ooh, I know
Oh.
Anthony from his real gaming days. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Back when you had a neck beard?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this last time, but Taijira, I think Chris is in the chat too, Taijira. Kodir, I think, might be watching tonight, but yeah, I played World of Warcraft probably 60 hours a week in college for a while. Yeah, the eyes you're giving me right now. Yeah, it was a lot. And but Taijira was on the last raid team that I was a part of before I left the game. So yeah, she joined us on the last chat and she had a lot to say. So I'm
Yeah.
glad she's back.
Yeah, thanks for joining in again.
You guys ready to call it, or?
Well, are we going to do this appreciation and
Oh, the gestalting?
one thing we appreciate and one thing, was it regret? No.
Resent.
Resent. One thing we appreciate.
Resent
one
and
thing we
appreciate.
resent.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys about just cool shit and just talk about cool shit and see where it goes, you know? It's awesome.
Yeah.
I like this whole chat thing. That's very cool. What I resent is that there's so much focus on this video game that I don't really like or enjoy at all.
Uh-huh.
And you guys talk a lot about video games, which is fine. I just don't really connect with that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that honest feedback. I think that was me.
So we're each going to do an appreciation and then we'll do resentments?
I already did both.
Oh, you resent. That's right. You did say that. Okay, I'll say that I just appreciated having both of y'all here tonight because we had a rough stream last week. It was such a train wreck that I just deleted it, all of its existences
on it?
off the internet. It was just Cody and I, but we had like spent a lot of time setting everything up beforehand, and there just wasn't a lot of mojo for having conversation for the next few hours. So we just kind of called it after about half an hour. But so yeah, I'm really enjoying this format. I think it was Zach's idea or one of your ideas about the stream to have a third person.
It was a mutual.
on.
It was a co-emergent idea.
Cody wanted it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one thing I resent. I'm really wishing we had 3 microphones right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
One day.
resenting the audio of this stream. It's probably not too bad now, but earlier we struggled the first 15 minutes tonight. Oh, so for anybody watching right now that's going to go back and watch the recording if they missed any of this earlier, probably the first 10 to 15 minutes of the show we didn't have the microphone on, and we were so engrossed in conversation with each other that we didn't read any of the chats or messages that we were receiving from several sources telling us
We
that
were
the mic was
talking
cut
about
off.
ideal partners. It was just a very interesting thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tajira says I resent wearing green week 1. That's true. I wore a green sweater and it was not driving well with the green screen. So yeah, I resent our technical difficulties tonight.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think I really appreciate your presence, Alex, and wanting to engage, especially knowing that this game is completely uninteresting to you. And I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to stay here and still chat with us about cool stuff. I think one thing I resent was maybe our technical difficulties. I think we could have done a better job cleaning that stuff up beforehand. And, I think that's really where I wish we would have done a little bit better. I also want to point out, too, that I got a message asking, why resent anything? And I gave the answer of honesty and transparency, and that was a little bit of just off the top of my head. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what the point of this practice is, but it was practice offered to us, and I just...
But maybe it gives space to be like, is there anything I resent?
Yeah.
And maybe like whatever you answer has some kind of information.
Yeah, maybe resent. I don't even know what resentment. I don't know if I'm actually feeling resentment in this situation.
Yeah.
Totally.
So for whoever asked that, we had a class this week on Gestalt, which is a type of therapy. It's a modality, and in that, after you do a Gestalt hour with your therapist. Traditionally, these 2 questions are asked. You ask, what did you appreciate about today's session, and what did you resent about today's session? And the therapist that was training us in this week said that once you name the resentment, you ask the client if there is a way that they could see that resentment as something that they actually appreciate.
Yeah. Well, why don't we finish with that then, too?
Okay.
I can start unless you.
Whatever.
I appreciate our efforts to try to get this cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate the fact that we're going to continue getting it cleaned up so it works and runs smoothly.
Mm-hmm. Since we had the same resentments, I'll say that like, despite the difficulties we had with everything, we've been working hard on getting this thing to stream to 3 platforms at once, and we've got a graphics designer working on logos and overlays and subscribe notifications. We've got the whole thing coming, and on some level, the part of me that resents these difficulties is just wanting it to be better already, and sort of not accepting where we are as a platform right now. So I'll just say that we're probably going to at some point look back on nights like this where we're crowded at my desk in this dinky ass room, and
Have some appreciation.
yeah, totally, yeah, because this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh fuck! I don't know how to turn mine into an appreciation.
She's just like, I fucking hate this game.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and watch games with y'all for 2 hours.
It's fine. I just completely ignored the game. I saw you were playing it. I was like, all right, he's playing some game. I didn't even really fuck with it in any way. And then when you guys were kind of talking about like video game stuff, I was just like, okay, all right, I'm probably gonna be over soon. And then you would, or I would interject and be like, oh, what about alter egos?
Can we talk about something else, please?
Big dicks and small dicks.
Yeah, big dicks, yeah.
But you did that in such a seamless way. It didn't even feel clunky.
Maybe I appreciate my ability to stand up for myself and just kind of like advocate and like just be like, okay, well, let's change the subject and what about this? Which, you know, I haven't always been able to do, like in small group, if you've noticed. We're all in small group together.
Oh my God.
We don't have
Jesus
to
Christ.
explain what that means.
We're going to, that'll be a whole show unto itself.
Right. But I think I've moved towards that, speaking up, saying my needs, to, like really believing that people will inconvenience themselves for me, and that maybe I'm worth it.
I really appreciate that. I really do. I think that answers the question that was posed of why resent things, because I think that's freaking awesome that your resentment of being bored with this video game turned into your appreciation of your ability to stand up for yourself, which I think is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Totally.
Well,
all right, and just do some house cleaning stuff. We want to remind y'all that we are on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube on a weekly basis, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/pushtotalkradio. We're also on YouTube at, I think it's youtube.com/pushtotalkradio. And on Facebook, facebook.com/pushtotalkradio. And you'll probably have a better chance of interacting with us if you're on YouTube or Twitch. Seems like we're having some issues with the Facebook comments and stuff. Maybe that'll get ironed out next week, but we really appreciate y'all checking in this week. And we, before we go, I just want to go ahead and give the disclaimer again one more time.
Wait, one more thing. I just noticed we all wear glasses.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
But I'm gonna take my glasses off while I read the disclaimer. So the hosts and moderators of this show are not providing therapy and/or therapeutic services. Advice given on this show is not an alternative to seeking professional help. The team behind Push to Talk is not responsible for any decisions that viewers may make regarding their own mental health. If you or anyone you know are in need of immediate assistance, please call emergency services at 911 or call a crisis hotline near you that can be found at the link on our various social media pages, as we do not know what area you are seeking a crisis.
Or just Google it.
Yeah, just Google it. That's a great way to figure out something very quickly if you need it.
So can we roll that outro music?
Yeah. Fill the space a little bit while I find it.
Yeah, so...
You sent it to me, right?
Yeah, it's back in there somewhere.
It's going to be way back, isn't it? Is there a way to just like look for your attachments?
Yeah, can you make this full screen? How do you go to full screen chat?
Oh wait, you know what? I know where it's at. Okay.
So next week, topic is up for discussion. I think a topic that I'm very interested in hearing more people's opinions about is toxicity in gaming. Also how people relate to gaming in general. I'm also really curious about, it's not a popular topic necessarily, but the pain beneath gaming and what pain are people masking by playing games.
Yeah, just to kind of,
if any,
quickly bring it back to when I just mentioned how I was playing 60 hours a week in college.
That's an addiction.
Huge addiction, and I was avoiding a lot in my life, and we just want to sort of name and recognize that this show is partially inspired by the fact that there's a lot of people in the gaming community that oftentimes don't know how to or know where to look for resources for relationships or anxiety or anything else that's going on with them. So we hope in some way that we can provide information along that lines, and to talk about dick sizes.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
The important things, you know?
So leave us a comment on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Let us know what you want to, any questions that you've got for us. You can also send us an email, pushtotalkradio@gmail.com. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week. Or if you've got a situation in your life, say with a partner or a coworker, something that's difficult and
work, whatever.
Yeah,
Mom,
something
dad,
you want to
brother.
chat about on the show. So with that, we'll play our wonderful outro music that Zach has created for us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Created it?
By DJ Artifacts, actually.
That's awesome.
We'll see y'all next week.